Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the commodities update video. And today we'll be looking at natural gas, UNG, oil, gold, silver, and the US dollar. And we'll be looking at support and resistance levels, potentially play off of, as well as what's the most likely scenario price will be heading into later next week. And I did the stock market update video yesterday. So if you guys are interested in S&P 500 QQQ and the 7 mega cap tech stocks, make sure to check out the video from yesterday. All right, let's get started. So natural gas, we pretty much gave back 90% of this bull move already. So if we don't hold Friday's low, we're going to come down to test this 2.86, which is also coinciding with this downtrending higher resistance. See where all these resistance that took us 5 times to break out of it is going to act as support. So if it comes down another leg down right there, you can see the horizontal support at 2.86, as well as this maroon looking line and downtrending resistance support coinciding in the same spot in that zone. As well as we have RSI support as well for around 41. See bounce, 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 and then we're coming right at it. So that 3 confluences signal may potentially help us bounce there. The more confluence signals in one area, the more likely that it is going to bounce. Let's also take a look at the hourly charts to see, give us more clues, see if there's anything bulls showing up or not, because if the hourly charts don't shape up any kind of structure, daily chart is not going to go anywhere for the bulls. And let's take a look. So early we are a little bit oversold. We also have a slight RSI divergence. You can see we made a new low here, and we're sold on the RSI. So let's see. On the hourly charts, we confirmed an hourly uptrend here, a small one. You can see we broke above this pivot high after this candle, but we're not over the 12 EMA yet, which is a teal looking line. So as long as we don't get over the 12 EMA, bulls aren't really going anywhere. You can see we have a slight rejection over there, slight rejection over here. But we are still in striking distance to break above that 12 EMA. Anything can happen. We could just get another one like this, just like this one right here, right? Monday. So I want to see a clear break above the 12 EMA, and we'll probably come back to test the structure when we break above the 12 EMA, which is we may get a bounce here because we have a small early trend change here, but as of now, it's not. Bears are still in absolute full control as long as the daily chart keeps continuing. You can see the 4-hour as well. 4-hour downtrend is still intact, and as long as it's intact, 4-hour trend will be our guide. We may get a temporary bounce like all these ones up back here. You can see we have big bounces here, right? As well. All these bounces are 3%, right? Those are quite significant bounces, 4% bounces. But as long as the trend doesn't change for the 4-hour, it'll just continue. So we can get another 4% bounce here, right? So far we bounced 1.5. Let's say we get a 4% bounce. Although if we get a 4% bounce from there, if we bounce above this structure, it would negate the downtrend. It'll become a neutral trend. That'll be a good sign. So if we get an initial bounce where it's big enough, we break above this pivot, and the next time we drop, there's a lot of room for the bulls to confirm a far uptrend now. So we'll see. The very first step for the bulls is I want to see a big enough bounce where bulls can potentially shape up trend changes afterwards. Because if we just get really small bounces, right, all like these little bounces, when it starts to drop, there's no room for trend changes. We just kept on going lower and lower, right? That's why it's a downtrend at the moment. So we'll see if bulls can show up next week. Otherwise, we're coming back all the way down here for that 2.86 support. It's pretty much the last level of support. If we break through that, right, we're coming back all the way down to this higher accumulation zone of the bulls where they were accumulating here for this breakout, right? That's not a good sign. We come all the way back there. All right, let's take a look at UNG. UNG's exactly the same charts. This is a tradable ticker for natural gas, and we are looking back down to that prior support zone as well. So pretty much gave back all of its moves, and now we're coming back down to this downtrending support as well, which is also this 6.79 zone right there. If we're gonna let another leg down on natural gas, where we're saying coming back down here, then UNG is probably gonna come down to test this as well, this level. So look on the hourly charts. Yep, no signs of bounce yet. Still an hourly bear flag down there. And it's still not over the 12 EMA as well. So as long as it can't get over the teal looking line, it's just trending down. Flagging. Bear flagging. Yeah, no signs of bounce on the 4-hour either. But we are a little bit oversold on the 4-hour, but 4-hour oversold can stay oversold, just like overbought can stay overbought. You can see how overbought we were back up here, right? And it stayed overbought for a bit. So we can maybe have a curve like that. If we start bottoming out at that downtrending resistance, now going to act as support. Yeah, acted as support here as well. Resistance, support. So it should act as support when we come down to here. And that, zero signs of bounce. But if we do bounce on Monday, then we may have a potential hourly trend change here if we do break above this pivot right there at the 6.82 high. And we'll also need to break above the 12 EMA for that to confirm. Then we may be planning to say there's a daily bounce on its way. As of now, it's just a straight move down. So we'll see. Right. Let's see if we get some bounces on Monday going for natural gas bulls. Otherwise, we're heading down to the next level of lows. Hourly trend for oil is intact. So as long as hourly trend is an uptrend, no signs of slowdown yet. You can see every time we drop, there's a lot of room. So you see, every time there's a big bounce, even if we drop, there's a lot of room for bulls to continue, just like what I want to see in natural gas. I want to see a big bounce. So that when we pull back, there's a lot of room for the trend changes that we can break above the bear pivot highs. Every time these moves, big move, a lot of room to work with, big room, a lot of room to work with. Trend changes, big bounce, a lot of room to work with. That's why the size of the retracement is so important. The shallow one, right? We know it'll continue. Hourly trend for oil is our guide for bulls. No signs of slowdown yet, but we do start rejecting from this level over here, where if it shapes up like this, hourly drop, but it bounces, shallow bounce, forms an hourly downtrend, then we're likely getting an equilibrium on the oil, meaning big move up, move down, gets smaller, can't make a new high, doesn't make a new low, and then we may get a tightening range equilibrium like that. If we start forming an hourly downtrend here, then we may start to pull back more. If that happens, so hourly trend would be our guide for continuation, or we may get started tightening range for an equilibrium. All right, take a look at gold. Incredible move. Probably someone getting short squeezed, but of course we all know what's happening around the world in the macro news right now. So gold is a safe asset, and pretty much just ripped all the way back up to its prior resistance. See, we have strong resistance here, 1984, very clear. See how many times that we have rejected over here, and how many times we have bounced off of it as support over here. Rejection over here, whole bunch of rejection over here, and makes sense that we have rejected there as well. We closed under it because then we're going to talk about the speed of the move. So the faster we move, right, the more overbought we are. And let's say just ran a straight marathon all the way into resistance, and hit this super strong key level resistance after such a strong move, bulls are going to get tired, right? They used up all the buying powers down here. And we hit a strong resistance with a lot of sellers, then it's hard to get over. And that just means that we may need to consolidate here a little bit. Either we go sideways before we retest it, back a little for deal consolidation. See if we can form a bull flag or not. Had a bull flag here, confirming. And let's see if we may form another one here. If most likely scenario. As of now, no signs of red flags at the moment. Hourly trend is still in the uptrend, and yeah, hourly trend will be our guide. But this drop is big enough where bears may potentially shift up an hourly. If they can do that or not. If they can do that, then daily consolidation is on. Daily consolidation just means one, the candle is lower than the prior days. Let me just form consolidation sideways. But we need an hourly downtrend first for that to shape up. All right, take a look at the US dollar. Let's see here. US dollar not doing anything much. It's going sideways for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So just doing this thing. So not much to look at. We just very clear zone. So we know if dollar doesn't break above the sideways zone or break below the sideways zone, we know exactly where it's going to trade. And that is about a 0.5% of a range. So we don't, not much for us to look here. As long as dollar holds below 106.6, bulls aren't going anywhere. As long as dollar does not break below 106, the bulls, the bears are not going anywhere. So look here, initial drop, pivot being set because this pivot is lower than this pivot. So that's a lower high, meaning this high is lower than this high. And now we have dropped slightly to a lower low, but I'm just going to call it triple bottom because it's just so tight. What I want to see is a clear break below this triple bottom for that to come from a daily downtrend. And that'll be a win for the bears. But if the bulls can hold this triple bottom, negate that daily downtrend, and bounce back, then it's a win for them. So we'll see who confirms that daily downtrend first or not. Now, bears are closer to their striking distance than bulls are because we just have to drop 0.2% to confirm a daily downtrend. That'll be a win for the stock market bulls because everybody wants to see dollar pulls back a little bit. It's good for the stock market and as well as metal bulls. So let's take a look at silver. Silver, hourly uptrend still intact as well. This was the double bottom, and then you can see bulls play defense here, and then we continued. A little bit similar with gold, of course. We hit key resistance as well back here. This 23.38. So we had rejections here, support here, rejections here, just a bunch of support here, bunch of supports, whole bunch of rejection supports down here. So you can see the amount of volume is trading this zone. And we have ran so fast up towards it as well. 14% straight to strong resistance, right? So it does make sense. We have a little bit of a sell-off, taking profits. I would take profit too if I was up 14% in just 1 week, 2 weeks, right? And we're also pretty close to this downtrending resistance as well. This mirror looking line, we have rejected from there roughly 5 times. So if we do come back up here, we're probably likely going to reject. But of course, we need to break above 23.37 as well as 23.7 as well. Wait, 23.3, 23.7. You see this level is also key resistance. We have 2 levels before we hit the final boss level right here. But no signs of red flags for bulls at the moment because these are all healthy pullbacks. Even if we get another pullback, right, it's still just a healthy daily consolidation currently. We don't even have our hourly downtrend yet, so no signs of any red flag for bulls at this moment. Doesn't mean we're not going to pull back, but there's no point trying to nail the top. We don't know. You could have said that this was the top right here, right? When we pull back, but next thing you know, bulls play defense, double bottom, hourly uptrend continues. Said the same thing right here. Up drop where bears may potentially confirm hourly downtrend, but you don't want to be guessing. Same thing right here. If you guessed it right here, you think that bears are going to confirm hourly downtrend. Next, you know you were wrong, right? But you can try and set stop losses, but same thing over here. If you think bears are going to mark the top here, you can set your stop loss right there above this today's high. If you're wrong, you get stopped out. If you're right, then you may nail the top. But just don't try too many times, because if you keep trying, so you tried all the time over here, right? Then you probably got stopped out 5 times already, right? A couple times, especially when you hit key resistance levels around these levels, you can start trying. It does make sense. Or you can be a little bit more patient and try closer to downtrending resistance. But those are kind of the plays that we do. All right, that's what I got for you guys for commodities. You should check out the stock market video if you guys are into that. And from yesterday, feel free to like, subscribe, and share if you guys learn anything. As well as if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And feel free to support the channel as well in the membership. I will see you guys on Monday for more updates. Have a great rest of you guys' weekend.